we're on the hot take couch here at Let's Get Trash Industries.
We only have one couch, and this is it. Hot takes.
Speaking of things getting hot, we're gonna wrap it up with Rampage.
Rampage. Okay.
We've mentioned it a couple times throughout this symposium, and it is a symposium.
It's always been a symposium. Where have you been?
It's a symposium, folks. Get used to it. All right.
So
Rampage.
Now, let me say this. This is not a movie that I personally got to see. I watched a little bit of review and like recap content about it, but
did you ever play the game?
I did play the game. I loved the game.
You loved
the
game. What did you love about it?
Because it was something that me and my younger brother could do together. He's still with us. We just don't get to play stuff together, but weird point to make, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked the fact that we could both be on the same screen. We had to cooperate, and you play as the threat rather than you're trying to stop the threat.
Yes.
In Rampage, you're one of like 3 monsters, maybe 4, depending on the version. I know there was a new one.
Was there? I know the one that had 3 monsters. It had the giant reptile, like I said, crocodile, had the giant wolf, and it had a giant ape.
Correct.
They all had names. George was the ape. Ralph was the wolf. And I do not remember...
The lizard.
Yeah, if you want to look up the lizard...
Yeah, I'll look up the lizard real quick.
I meant to look that up earlier. Those are the 3 characters. It's a very simple game, folks. If you're unfamiliar with it, all you do is you punch buildings, and then you can climb up and down the building, and you keep punching out all the windows. It won't say it in the movie, because in the movie they explicitly left out his name. You keep punching out all the windows.
I know, dude.
And then once you're done with once you destroy the 8 buildings that are on the screen, you're done. And I'm not even sure how the game works, because there's nothing that can beat you. There's nothing that's like trying to stop you.
No, yeah, you do have hit points. You do have hit points in the game.
Are you just trying to collect points?
No. Like you do, if I remember correctly, here, let me get the name first. 1 second. If I remember, there was a point where if you didn't do something right, like maybe not eat enough people or something, you would not be able to advance.
Interesting.
Yeah, you had to clear a whole stage.
Yeah, I know you had to clear the whole stage, but I don't remember ever dying in this game. That was the thing about it. The only thing I can think of is that it was a competition between you and the other player. whichever one of you gets the most points, which means you destroyed the buildings the fastest, you ate people the fastest. Whichever one of you gets the most points is the winner. It's just like a collecting points kind of game.
George Lizzie's
the lizard. They made it a crocodile in the movie Rampage, and they never called her Lizzie ever.
Now, George, of course, being the gorilla, like George of the Jungle.
Of course.
And then Ralph the wolf. I don't necessarily get that one. Is there some gap in my knowledge here? Do you know why he was called Ralph?
I don't know why. I do know. So in the movie, again, there's an evil corporation, folks. They're doing experiments. Guess where they're doing experiments?
Is it out in the open for everybody to see?
Oh, you're guessing wrong.
Wait, that's a reference, guys, for one of our earlier episodes.
You're wrong.
So where is it?
They've all watched every part of the symposium. They know what the reference is.
They need to watch every part of the symposium.
They're not doing experiments out in the open world.
Where else would they do it?
Where else would they do it? There's only 2 other options. Guess
it can't be under the sea because of the pressure. It would almost exclusively have to be underground. It couldn't be.
It's not underground.
Wait,
that's a very good guess.
Is it up in the air?
Oh, it's where?
Is it in fucking space?
It's in space.
That's like the underground of the air.
That is the underground of the air.
That's what the scientists at NASA call it.
We're going to the underground of the air.
BRB.
Yeah. So once again, this movie starts in space. There's a space station, an entire big ass space station that a corporation owns, and they're doing fucked up experiments up there.
Jeff Bezos, nice.
Yeah. So it's almost just like our two Doom movies. They're doing experiments in space, not on Mars. Finally,
not underground.
Not underground like Resident Evil, or also Doom.
Doom, yeah.
Doom is an underground Mars base.
That's what I was saying.
They go to space, then they get to Mars, then they go underground.
Doom, Resident
Evil. They go to Missouri, then they go underground.
Which is where you want to be if you're doing some shady shit. So they're up in space.
Mortal Kombat, that's out in the open. Mortal Kombat's honest.
Well, they're not doing dirt. You're fighting.
They're not experimenting.
You're fighting for the world.
Yeah, they're just doing karate. They're inventing new types of karate, but you can do that
and discovering their.
You can do that in a Shaolin temple.
Discovering their slightly better robot arms. They're doing all of that out in the open where everybody can see it. But up in space, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Space station.
So it's actually girl Bezos. Bezos is a girl, and she has a brother.
Jafita?
Yeah. She has a brother who's less hardcore than she is. They're both evil, but she's big time evil, and he's greedy, but he doesn't want to go to prison. So he's willing to. She's going to go all the way with it. But anyway, they're doing fucked up experiments on animals, and they're doing gene therapy or CRISPR, which is a real thing. They're doing like gene splicing shit.
Clustered, regularly interspaced palindromic repeats, I believe is what that sounds.
You should say that into the microphone. That was impressive as fuck that you knew what that was.
Clustered, regularly interspaced palindromic repeats. CRISPR.
I've known you for 15 years, and I say I'm never not surprised by what you have just at your hip, the kind of knowledge you can just drop.
Dude, NPR talks about CRISPR all the time, man. And for those of you who can see me, I am that black NPR guy. But seriously,
you're the black NPR. I keep trying to get you to be a black Trump guy because that'd be so much funnier. If you went to an RNC rally, you'd be on the jumbotron 40 times.
I wouldn't say anything to anybody other than like, oh hey, hi.
Yeah, you should just go just to be on TV that much.
That'd be 40 times more than I've ever been on TV.
Yeah,
except for that manhunt.
Anyway, the space station blows up. One of the experiments goes bad. Who'd have thought?
No way.
I know every single one of these movies is an experiment going bad, except for Mortal Kombat. But all the other ones we've talked about are all experiments gone awry. Mm-hmm. So it goes wrong up in space. The animals that they're testing, they get fucking jacked, and they start ripping up the space station and killing people. As the escape pod is heading towards Earth, it breaks up, and three containers of experiment fluid
disperse around the world.
Yeah, one lands in a swamp and hits a crocodile.
Boom, Lizzie.
We don't see Lizzie for way later. They never say Lizzie in the movie. One lands in a forest and it hits a wolf in the face.
Boom, Ralph.
Boom, we get Ralph. And then one lands at the San Diego Zoo primate enclosure, and it hits Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's best friend, George, the albino ape.
That's where George comes in.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he has a name. He has a real name.
Brendan Fraser. Because he played George of the Jungle. I'm sorry. That's a stupid joke. That's trash.
That's trash.
That's self-trash.
Yeah. So because this is like a rescue, this is like a primate habitat. They have a bunch of like rescued things. Mm-hmm. So this monkey, ape, whatever, not only does it have a name and it is friends with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they speak sign language to each other. They taught the monkey sign language.
They taught Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson sign language? Oh my God.
That's junk. Don't put that on me.
That's not junk. That's not junk if your face turns instantly red and you laugh forward.
That's not junk. I did not say that word about Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
What word?
They taught George, the gorilla in the film, sign language.
I meant for the movie they taught Dwayne The Rock Johnson how to do sign language. What did you think?
Now
I'm putting it on.
No, that's junk.
That's junk.
That's junk.
All right.
We're not gonna.
I saw it. I had to do it.
We're not gonna tolerate that kind of tomfoolery.
Seriously, though, he's from a culture from the other side of the world. We get it. But yes, so they taught the ape sign language.
This is a no tomfoolery podcast. All right. I think we all know
that's the name of the production company that you should start.
Anyway, so
they speak sign language to one another.
So he's like one of those super smart. George the ape character is a super smart character. He's a super smart rescue monkey or ape or whatever primate. I'm not going to let you give me again.
I love how careful
you're not going to spin this on me.
Oh man, no. This is why
I'm a good person.
This is why you come to a symposium, which this is. But super smart ape, George the ape character.
Yes.
Not the actor Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Don't even go there. Don't even say that.
So you're saying Dwayne isn't smart?
Sorry, I thought I had my friend Clarence Riley the Fourth on the show. Apparently, I have that girl Z-Way. I'm getting Z-Wayed right now.
Oh man, no, she would chew me up and spit me right the fuck out.
Not
dude.
you're black.
Oh, now you're gonna get Z-Wayed. Bring her in, guys.
The whole point of her show is that she is that she tricked white people into
and black people too. She does it to black people.
She does it to black people. She doesn't like Michael Che.
Well, I mean,
and Chet Hanks. Man, that's too.
But yeah.
Anyway,
they speak sign language between the two of them, the characters.
So that's why George has a name.
Mm-hmm.
They briefly justify they're like, yeah, once there's a giant wolf running around, one of the generals is like, yeah, people on the internet are calling it Ralph. That's
the line.
That's the line that they think they have to have.
We need to make a bingo card for this. Just like
for the next video game movie, we could do a bingo card of like all the different tropes, the things that get
one last mission or one last go, whatever the trope you were talking about.
Yeah, specifically for the video game thing, also just being all of them. Being like they reference obliquely reference a fact of the movie,
Easter eggs for that movie.
Yeah, exactly. Of the video game, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the general does. People on the internet are calling him Ralph, and everybody just like the line goes nowhere. Everybody just like, okay, fucking Colonel or whatever you say, and then they just keep moving on. It's a disaster. It's a disaster movie.
Yes.
It has a lot of the same, kind of disaster tropes. Again, it's just a giant monster creating a thing. Like most disaster movies, there's a lot of characters introduced at the beginning. In the first 5 minutes, we get like 15 characters we're introduced to. It's crazy, too much. Yeah,
and you have to get to the disaster. You got to start. This is General something. General. Yeah. I'm the this. I'm going to be taking pictures with you. We got to move quick. Yeah. Meet her. Meet him.
Yeah.
We're going to go with this pilot.
Exactly. So once George gets exposed to the gene therapy, he experiences exponential growth. So that's the thing. He goes from being a regular sized gorilla to being like 20 feet tall, and he keeps growing, and he's getting more and more aggressive. That's what he's never been before, was aggressive. But now he's just a bloodthirsty, he's just enormous. The Rock, being his primate handler, keeps trying to calm him down. Hey, I'm your friend, doing all the hand signal thing. Mm-hmm. Calm down. It's kind of working, but he just can't control him anymore. And then the military, again, the military comes in, some guy with an awful Southern cowboy accent. This guy I hate. I hated this character.
Is it the guy who Jeffrey Dean Morgan is playing?
Yeah.
Okay. He does a Southern accent in that? That sounds awful.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
He's the guy with the mustache and the kind of salt and pepper beard?
I think so. Let me... Let me look that up real quick. I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah, it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He plays Harvey Russell. So he's like, they literally make the joke of they kidnap The Rock and George, and then this woman, the scientist woman who says she knows how to help. And then they kidnap her. He's like, what government agency? Like, who do you even work for? Are you FBI, CIA? He's like, I work for OGA. And it's like, oh, other government agency? You're not even going to tell us?
Office of Governmental Animals?
Yeah. He's the secret agent. You know what I mean? We don't even know what his organization's called, and they won't even say the name.
His name is John Smith. And
why not just say I work for the fucking FBI? That would make more sense. But he has to be extra special. The Rock himself is a former Navy SEAL special. He's also Special Forces.
No, a movie where The Rock plays a former Special Forces person?
He's a Special Forces guy. He was an anti-poacher. He killed poachers back in the day. He loves animals and hates people.
He was a hero who's now just still trying to do the right thing in a movie?
Who only cares for his animals, and he's going to do anything he can to save his friend George. And when a woman comes into his life, he's going to not even care about her because he doesn't care about people. Well, he's seen, I don't know if you know this, but as an anti-poacher, he's seen the evil that people can commit. As a former soldier and an anti-poacher, he's seen the evil people can commit, and he's seen how good animals are.
That sounds like character development.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? It does sound like character development.
That's so nice.
It doesn't feel like it, but it sounds like it.
It doesn't make me care about him. That's it. Doesn't make me give a shit.
Yeah.
Because I came here to watch giant animals destroy a city.
Well, guess what? Also, when you're a Green Beret, Special Army Force super soldier, and you're in Iraq killing people. Yeah, you're the bad guy.
You're the one destroying cities.
I've seen the stuff. I've seen the evil stuff human beings can do. Like, attack Iraq under completely false pretenses and stay there for 15 years and kill a bunch of innocent people. Yeah, I've seen that too.
You were him.
Yeah, that's. I know you saw it. You did it.
Imagine if they gave this growth serum to their Navy SEALs, and then just
wouldn't you know it? That was the eventual goal.
Did I just spoil the movie?
No.
Oh no.
No, it's not. But that's what our bad guys want. They're trying to create super soldiers. So they're experimenting on animals in space.
Embiggening.
Yeah. It's such a flimsy premise. I guess it doesn't need too much of a premise because the video game has no story.
Again, this is another theme.
They had a blank slate.
Yeah.
And
the blank slate is another theme that's been popping up a lot.
Yeah. And it's almost like it tortures these guys. Cuz a blank slate, it should be like freeing, like I can do whatever I want, but maybe they're just like paralyzed by I have all this freedom to do whatever I want. I guess I have to invent the dumbest story ever and fuck everything up completely.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of studio notes that go into that too, looking behind the scenes. Yeah.
Every single villain is white. This is not a topic I address on this show very often, but Rampage. So, okay. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, our sympathetic hero, who he loves animals and he thinks people are bad. He's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Our good guy, our good girl scientist, Dr. Kate Caldwell, played by Naomi Harris, who has an eventual, she's a liar. First of all, she's a former scientist. Her character, I hated her. She's a former scientist for this evil corporation. She was the one that designed these potions. She's the one that did it.
Well, that's why she can help.
And then they fired her. And then anyway, later on when The Rock is like saying his "I hate people" shit, she's like, first of all, they try to play her as like the voice of reason because him and what's his name? Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Him and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, like they get into a fight, and it's like, what are you gonna do about it? And they're like they're like
posturing.
They're posturing. Thank you. And she goes, oh, it's that typical like, oh, men never listen. I tried to tell everybody to be calm because I'm the woman who's whatever, but of course these men are just gonna be thumping their chests. And then again later she's condescending and talking down to The Rock for like not liking people, and I'm just like, shut up, bitch. You're a fucking war criminal. You created these illegal creatures and these fucked up substances, and you were doing human experiments and animal experiments
in fucking space.
Yeah, you're the criminal here, and now she's supposed to be like the reasonable woman that calms down like hot-headed The Rock and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I hate them. I hate that. I hate that shoehorning in like just because she's a black woman, she has to be the voice of reason when she's the war criminal who created this problem.
That's the second hypocrite that you've pointed out in this movie. The Rock was the first one. Like, people do such shit things. It's like, yeah, I know. Like, be special soldiers. And go kill a bunch of people. And it's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Why do you hate people? It's like,
well, that's why they end up together. I'm sure. They
have a love of committing war crimes.
Their shared love of hypocrisy brings them together in the end.
Where'd you guys spend your honeymoon? The front lines of Ukraine. Which side? Russian.
We were putting down a workers' rebellion in Rhodesia.
Yeah, exactly.
We decided to volunteer at a diamond mine, checking little children's pockets.
Yeah. Oh, who was your travel agency? Black Watch. The mercenary company.
Yeah.
We're setting the world on fire.
There's a mercenary company in this movie. They get fucked up by.
There's always a mercenary or like special police.
Amazon. So evil Amazon, Umbrella Corporation. They have to. The brother and sister, they hire a mercenary company to get back before they know that a wolf got fucked up by the gas.
Mm-hmm.
They hire a mercenary company to go recover it. Yeah. And so, because they're like, we can still save our research, and we can still, again, all these scientists are all interested in saving their research, from Doom to Rampage to Resident Evil.
Yeah,
it's always the corporation.
Years of work. Years of work.
Yeah, we've got years of work. The corporations invested too much money into this research. It's just, I would love to see a video game movie do something unique.
Yeah. That's so funny because I didn't even realize that we would be touching on so many parallels between all of these.
Yeah,
like you said,
I didn't either, really.
In episode 1 and partially in episode 2, a lot of the word zombie.
Yeah,
a lot of the word zombie.
Zombie comes up a bunch. Evil Corporation's a big one.
One Last Mission guy.
That happens a lot. The Easter egg thing.
Yeah.
Explaining.
Have to.
Something that's in a video game that's like you don't have to explain because it's a video game and it's wild and you can just do whatever you want. They think that won't fly in a movie, so they have to explain it away. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to explain it away.
Yeah, because half of the shit in any sort of fantasy movie doesn't get explained away.
Exactly.
Like, why the fuck does Pinocchio get to walk around? Because he wished upon a star, and that all of a sudden he's a walking puppet, and then he turns into a boy at the end of it.
I don't need a scientist doing like a UV light thing. Like, oh my god, this star is giving off a type of frequency.
I think it's aliens actually.
That's turning him into a walking puppet.
Yeah. And then you
he made eye contact with the right star at the right time, and he got a burst of UV rays that made him walk.
And then it's part of the cinematic universe of Pinocchio.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's exactly that. The whole trying to make it too relatable thing, just like no, let it be. Let it be. That's going on the bingo card for sure.
Our brother and sister, the Bezos twins, that caused all this. They're white. The colonel. So Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he's like super CIA. The colonel, the military colonel, that won't. They're like, sir, you have to call off the airstrike. We can save it another way. He's like, I'm not gonna call off nothing. No, actually, no, that guy was black. He was a bad guy, so they did make one black bad guy.
He probably grew up in the suburbs.
So we have one black bad guy and one white good guy, because Dean Morgan becomes a good guy. He eventually he's willing to break protocol to just do the job that needs to be done and help The Rock and Naomi Harris.
Gotcha. His skin gets darker as he goes through, just getting better and better.
Yeah, as the rubble, as he's walking through the destroyed city, the ash gets on he gets charred a little bit.
Oh God!
So
that's trash.
So now he's a good guy because he's black. Anyway, it's a simple movie. It looks pretty good, honestly. I don't really care about CGI too much. This one looks really good. I thought, as good as it's going to be.
Yeah. I know that a lot of CGI movies these days, especially the ones like that one, and like there was that movie Skyscraper that also starred The Rock.
Yeah, I never saw that.
It's always just kind of like a very flat kind of presentation. No bold colors like a Quentin Tarantino movie, or no like strategic use of different instances to tell the story.
Yeah.
It's always just straight across the board. It's a droning note at the very bottom.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what else did you like about this movie, real quick?
I don't know. Not much, to be totally honest with you. I didn't have a ton of notes of like anything good. It's just really, what would have been better? Again, just drop they're trying to be realistic by having an evil corporation. But frankly, if it was just a mad scientist who did that, I created 3 things because I want them to destroy a city. I want them to destroy Chicago. And
Simpler times.
And then, go simple with it. I experimented on these animals. I want them to destroy Chicago. And then he lets them go. They go destroy Chicago. And then he's watching on a monitor, rubbing his palms together, or doing the Mr. Burns.
There you go.
He's doing the thing with his fingers. Excellent. That's better. Just do that.
And then you have to go to the Chicago Zoo and you have to grab The Rock and be like, hey, we know that you have special skills and that you're a primate communicator. We need your help.
Yeah.
Done.
Right.
It doesn't need to be harder than that.
Yeah. They're just trying to have any type of social commentary in any of these things. If that's not what you do, don't do it, because it just falls flat.
Flat is from what I'm hearing about Rampage, again, never seen the movie myself, but from what I'm hearing about it, it does sound like it's a pretty flat experience overall. It sounds like a paycheck movie for everybody involved. Like, hey, we got to keep this thing running. We'll pay you actors. We'll pay the crew.
I don't know how much money this movie even made, if any. Like, what could,
Oh, all right.
That's the thing, is what kind of paycheck could they have possibly gotten?
How much did they spend on it?
Let's see. Where can I can find that somewhere.
Wikipedia will show you.
Really? I'm on. Oh, here we go. The budget. This is not good.
140?
$120 million budget.
That's what Superman Returns with Brandon Routh cost back in 2006.
Oh, well, this is a bigger movie than that.
Well,
it's bad because the opening weekend was $35 million. The gross United States gross is $101 million. So they're down by 19.
Right then.
And then the worldwide gets them to 428 million worldwide.
Well, actually,
that's more. That's a lot.
No. $428 million. That's good. They made their money back and then some. That's a hit.
Is that a hit?
Yeah. Okay. So it costs
but does
$120.
it count if it's worldwide? It costs $120.
It is $120.
Worldwide is $428.
Well, here's the thing. You gotta pay, the $120 plus basically $120 in marketing costs. That's like a rule of thumb.
Yeah, it's always double. Whatever the budget is, you double it for marketing. So they spent $240, and then total.
Take away 3 from 468. Is that what you said? Worldwide.
Worldwide. I don't know how that's different from international, but worldwide 428.
428. So, take away 300 from. They made $120 million, $128 million on that movie.
Is that good?
I mean, I don't know.
Do they think that's good? I mean, you give me $128 million, I'm saying yes.
That's true. But if you give it to Elon Musk, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, not even that, but the movie studio, who knows what they do,
what their assets are.
Yeah, they've got fake accounting and stuff for all that kind of stuff anyways.
It's the mob.
I don't know if it's a hit.
I'm kidding. It's not the mob, please, guys.
Anyway.
But I don't know. I know that they didn't lose money on the deal, especially like something that Disney just released a movie on the Thanksgiving holiday that they're going to lose $100 million on.
Yeah. Let me look at those numbers. That was called Strange something.
Strange World, I believe. Something like that.
Strange World. Yep, here it is. Let me go to those numbers, see what this thing says. $120 million budget. God damn. 120 is like.
So double that, and that's 240 for everything, budgeting and marketing. Or budget
worldwide gross, 44.
So they're going to lose a lot of fucking money on that, dude.
That's a bath.
So
they're taking a bath on that.
And so Rampage, by comparison, I don't know who the studio was, but at the end of the day, when you're doing those books, $128 million in the bank.
You can't be mad at it. You know what?
I wouldn't be.
The Rock makes money. As much as
except for Black Adam.
How much did that lose? A lot?
I heard that it lost of significance.
This
is the trash talking corner.
This is let's trash.
Let's fucking garbage dump.
Because we talked about this off camera for just a second, but because The Rock is running around Twitter finding anybody shit talking his movie and saying, no, actually we made plenty of money.
Yeah, if you want to talk to The Rock right now, just go up and start shit talking Black Adam on Twitter.
He will respond to you.
He will personally with links.
Yeah, with links. He'll educate you.
You jabroni.
$195 million budget for Black Adam.
So that's almost
worldwide.
Fucking $4 million.
Well, so United States gross is 165. Worldwide is 385. So
let's talk about those numbers real quick, because if we're doing those same numbers, 195 million.
But do you really double it if it's a? See, that's what I don't understand is how does marketing costs go up at the same rate as production costs?
I don't know. I don't understand that, and I couldn't answer that question. But
because if you spend, let's say you spend $120 million making a Marvel movie, the biggest movie in the world, you're gonna do the maximum amount of advertising for it.
Sure.
If it costs $120 million to do the maximum amount of advertising. You're on every sports commercial break. You're on every YouTube ad. You're on every bus. You're on every billboard. You've maxed out. Just because you make a movie for $200 million, how does your marketing cost also go up $80 million?
Maybe it's not that it automatically does. Maybe it's that when you budget a movie, you budget the same for the production as you do. You know what I mean? From the studio side. So you're like, hey, I'm only making this movie for $80 million. I'm only going to spend $80 million on the marketing.
So you think it's exclusively a throwing good money after, not even bad, but throwing good money after spent money.
Yeah, I think that could be it. As somebody who has no idea how the movie making business works on, well, in any kind of way for that matter.
I might look into that. I might want to learn more about that. But anyway,
definitely.
So they spent $200 million and they made $385.
Okay. So if the marketing thing doesn't hold true, then they made money on it.
But if they spent $400 million, 2 for marketing, 2 for production.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're down 15. They lost 15 million.
That's exactly right. That's what it would be if that holds true. Correct. That's not a bath, but I wouldn't want to leave work on a Friday after losing $15 million.
I kind of would. That would be sick. Somebody give me a job where I can lose that kind of crazy money for you. That'd be fun.
And then walk in the next day. Or not even.
No, I got no problem leaving. Cool. Interesting. Maybe in the future we'll talk more about if I ever learn anything about movie money or money in general, I might turn this into a finance podcast.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this same exact format, but we're gonna have a fake like finance ticker on the bottom that we'll just edit in and post.
Yeah.
And we'll just bullshit talk.
We're gonna do Mad Money.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like Mad Movies.
Yeah. I'm Jim. I'm Jim Cosmo Kramer.
and
I'm
Lisa Kudrow.
Calling back to
Kudlow and Kramer.
Was that Kudlow and Kramer?
Kudlow and Kramer. I think that was the finance show back in the day.
Before Jim Kramer went solo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kudlow and Kramer. I want to say that's
so. You'd have to be Lisa Phoebe. You have to be Lisa Phoebe Kudlow.
Yeah, I am Lisa Phoebe.
Because
that is hard to say. Lisa Phoebe Kudrow. That's
Kudlow.
I think it's actually pronounced Kudrow, but
but yeah, that's right. Her name is Kudrow, not Kudlow.
Yeah,
I was just referencing Kramer as in Michael Richards.
Oh.
Calling back to our first hour of this podcast. We're in hour 4.
It's coming
folks.
back. It's coming back. They're called coins, Jerry.
All right, Clarence. This is a fun one. This is going to be at least a 4-parter. This might be 5 episodes for me.
Well, that would make sense given the fact that this is a symposium.
It's a symposium, folks.
It always has been.
It always has been. You know about it. You knew what you signed up for. When you saw the words, let's get trashed, symposium. Should I call it video game symposium or symposium on video games?
I think a symposium on video games is a perfect title for this.
That's what we're doing. And it's going to be at least a 4-parter. Maybe even a 5 if I'm feeling particularly lazy.
We don't have rules.
Yeah.
Except for the trash rule.
But this is a fun discussion. I can literally do this all day. I love talking about
it. Hasn't felt like as long as we've recorded this.
No, it hasn't.
Really hasn't.
Yeah. But if we were just hanging out at a bar, we'd be talking about movies too.
It's the exact same shit. And we haven't let the discussion be limited to that. So
yeah,
you guys are going to have fun with this one. I should have said it before, but I hope everybody's had a happy holiday, has a happy holiday and all that.
You're a sweetheart. All right. Thanks, everybody. You can find me at Let's Get Trashed Pod on Instagram, or you can find me Get Trashed Pod on Twitter. Just follow those 2 things, please. On any of these episodes, I guess I should have. I might include some stuff. You know, I might cut this section and copy and paste it into the end of every episode.
That's going to be great because everybody will have to look through the entire episode to know why the fuck it's the same between all 3. I like that idea. That's tight.
All right. So I'm doing that. You're seeing this at the end of the first hour. Guess what? You're seeing it at the end of the second, third, and fourth. So follow at Let's Get Trashed Pod on Instagram, at Get Trashed Pod on Twitter. Like and subscribe. Please leave a comment. Let me know. Here's the comments I want to hear from you. That you love me and that I'm handsome and that I'm doing a good job. And then also I want to hear comments of what video game movies did we forget? What ideas do you have? We didn't even talk about like my ideas for the Legend of Zelda, what they should do if they ever make a Zelda movie, what they should do if they ever do a something, what they should do if they ever do a something.
Any other, because there are various other upcoming video game adaptation movies coming up as well. We didn't get a chance to touch on that.
Yeah, the only one we talked about was Mario.
Yeah. It's
whatever.
Me.
Let us know what you think.
Mario.
It's wahoo. Let us know what you think, folks. Let me know what your favorite video game movie is or favorite video game. I'm never going to talk about my favorite video game TV series, which is The Witcher. Well, I hate that TV series, but I love the video game and the books are the best thing in the world. Whatever. I'm digressing. Thanks, everybody. Let's get trashed. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.